So Yeezy Day was something. I mean, it had a lot of ups and downs in terms of sneaker releases. There was some absolute bangers that dropped, and I think one of the highlights from that day was the long-awaited return of the Yeezy 350 V2 Red Stripe. Here we go, we got him in, guys. Take a look at the box. I mean, what are we really looking at here? It's a Yeezy 350 box. You see it, you know it. Let's pull him open. Let's take a look at today's pair of sneakers, guys. I've been waiting on this moment. This is the Yeezy 350 V2 Red Stripe. Man, it has been 6 years since these originally released, and I am so stoked to finally have a pair in hand, which honestly is something I never thought would happen, but here they are. I will say that they did kind of get overshadowed by the Yeezy 350 Turtle Doves that were dropping on Yeezy Day. I say were because they didn't really drop here in the UK. I know you guys had a field day with those Turtle Doves out in the US, but we weren't so lucky out here. We're not going to be breaking open that box of disappointment in today's video. I just feel like if the Turtle Doves weren't a thing for Yeezy Day, this would be the highlight for most people. I am still trying to figure out what to call these though. Like, they didn't get a catchy name like the rest of the stripe pairs. Oreos, Coppers, Dazzling Blues, these just got core black or red stripe. I guess you can't really call them breads because that name's already taken, so I don't know. I guess we'll just stick with red stripe for the rest of the video. Either way, let me give you some specifics on this pair of sneakers. Obviously, these dropped on Yeezy Day, and that was August the 2nd out in the US, and here in the UK, the EU, and a couple other places, it was August the 3rd. Now, they retail for £200 here, which is the new retail price for Yeezy 350s, and out in the US, they go for $230. In terms of the sneaker itself, it is as true to the original that dropped back in 2016 as possible. And as we know, the Yeezy 350 V2 has somewhat evolved over those years, so you may be used to the current form of the Yeezy 350 V2 rather than these older pairs, in which case we do need to get into some of the differences and some things that you may not expect with this pair. Let's start off with the material, because I think that is one of the first things I really realized when I got some of these older pairs in, specifically the knit on these. It kind of just feels a bit thicker. Like, a great example would be one of the more recent pairs. This is the Yeezy 350 Bone, and you can definitely feel, especially in certain places, this knit is a little bit thinner. Now, it's certainly not massive, but it is worth noting because it does affect the sizing on this pair of sneakers. Like, I believe this is what a lot of people experienced when some of the older pairs started retroing, like the Dazzling Blues, for example. Even though that was a new colorway, it was based off of the original form of these 2016 pairs. And what a lot of people told me was that that Dazzling Blue pair felt significantly tighter than some of the more recent Yeezy 350s. Now, one pretty cool thing is that Yeezy has been doing this for a while now, so a lot of us are almost used to the older Yeezy 350 sizing, if that makes sense. Like, we've had the Beluga Reflectives, we've had a restock of the Oreos, of course the Dazzling Blues like I just mentioned, even the breads from 2020. Like, a lot of those were older pairs and the sizing is relatively the same. So if you're someone who's tried any of of those pairs, I would say stick with the same sizing on this one. Now, personally, I went with my normal Yeezy 350 size, which is a half size up, and yes, they do feel a bit more snug. I think it's just particularly around this toe box area, whether it's slimmer or something, but it does feel a little bit tighter, which I do think, especially if you have a wider foot, I would probably go an extra half size up. So yes, the Yeezy 350 sizing remains to be ultra confusing. I mean, kind of just the entire Yeezy lineup is just confusing when it comes to sizing. Now these in terms of colorway is super sick. It's all over black, just a super clean look, and of course you have that very nicely contrasted red stripe, which is really the highlight of this sneaker. It just breaks up that dark black color, and it also just looks so distinctly Yeezy. Like, it isn't completely black, like you can kind of see these little red dots moving throughout the medial side of the sneaker, which again, I think is a really cool look. Now the midsole is semi-translucent, so from afar it just looks all over black, but you can see the boost on the inside, especially when you're up close. So yes, these may not be the turtle doves, but since those didn't really release, this was the sneaker that I was the most excited for. It's a pair that I've always wanted, and to get them in hand is definitely super exciting. We do kind of have to wonder now though, like, if all of these OG Yeezy restocks were actually something Kanye wanted. I feel like we've all kind of been under the assumption that when Kanye said Yeezys for everyone, that meant they're going to be restocking all of the OGs until the limited nature of Yeezys goes away. However, during Yeezy Day, we saw what Kanye said. He said that Adidas was bringing back older Yeezy models without his approval. Now, I can't dissect that whole situation in today's video again, but it is a really interesting thought and something I'd love to dissect in a different video. As for these though, definitely one for the collection, something I'm super happy with getting, and I'm sure anybody who picked up a pair is pretty happy. But definitely like to know your thoughts on these. Let me know down in the comment section, but that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with me. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one, but until then.